Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the North Main Minute. I'm Joshua Doby. A question we receive multiple times a day, and I'm sure you can understand when I tell you what it is here in just a few seconds, is what is the market going to do for the balance of the year? I'm going to give you a terrible answer. You know that. I don't know. There's no way that we can actually predict with any kind of assuredness what's going to happen in the next couple of minutes, let alone over the next several months as we head towards the year end. But I understand the spirit of the question, and I'm not going to actually talk about where the markets may end up, but some of the things that we're watching which are influencing the markets right now, trying to understand what that means for companies, which will translate into how the market perceives them and perhaps into their stock prices. But one of the big things, and I'm sure you've bumped into this, if you are a small business owner, you have tried to hire anybody right now, we are talking with employers constantly who are in the brutal space of having significant demand for what it is that they're doing and having an exceptionally challenging time in hiring enough folks to meet that demand. That's going to impact companies. It may not impact all companies. It's certainly not true that every company is in the same space. But what we're seeing is that right now, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, we have approximately 10 million jobs which are empty right now, meaning those jobs which existed pre-COVID are now needing to have folks in those positions in order to meet demand. Over 10 million open job spaces. Now, those are just the ones that are made public. How many are not made public, perhaps by our small businesses who are absolutely in need of employees as well? So that's something that's really going to have an impact, perhaps, especially in the near term on the markets. We're definitely watching that closely. Second big item that's sitting out there with regards to the things that have been moving through Congress recently, what's that going to mean for our taxes? What's that going to mean in terms of income taxes, capital gains taxes? How is that going to affect the market? The market, generally speaking, doesn't like it when taxes go higher. Doesn't mean that the markets can't do well in those kinds of spaces, but generally speaking, they don't tend to like that for all the obvious reasons. So we're watching that closely as well as these bills are moving through Congress about what that's going to mean with tax policy. And then the third big item, it's a big bogey that's sitting out there right now with regards to the Delta variant, with regards to COVID-19. Not going to speak to the public health aspects of things. We are by no means experts, but in terms of perception, and then if there is any pullback as far as accessibility to certain businesses, especially our small businesses, especially those spaces that include large gatherings of people, hospitality, sporting events, restaurants, cruise lines, hotel chains, all of those kinds of things which involve people being in relatively close proximity, are those going to be negatively affected again in any way like they were over the last year? So those are the things that we're watching closely here. Going to be taking a very close look at those, obviously, as we make our way through the next month, 2, and 3. If you'd like to talk about perhaps what the market means to your overall portfolio, and again, obviously there aren't ways in which we can predict it, but to make sure that you're making the right decisions in this environment so that your goals have the best possibility of being met, we'd love to hear from you, northmainfinancial.com.